Good afternoon. It is Thursday, April the 9th. I am Bruce Leonard, of course, and thank you for tuning in to another hour of Bruce Leonard Leans Left. While it's still legal. I'm still legal today. And we go through this every fucking time. But, one day it might not be. And that's the name of the show. I don't know if you were here last time, but at the end of the show was when Trump tacoed out and agreed to ceasefire 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Everything's 2 weeks, Trump. You ever notice that? 2 weeks. 2 week Trump. It's like 2 weeks. Everything's 2 weeks. You ever notice that? It's always 2 weeks. It's very odd. And I was listening to some people who negotiated the nuclear deal with Iran, the one that Trump tore up and threw in the garbage can. And they said it took them 18 months to negotiate this deal. Trump's going to negotiate it 2 weeks at the end of the war. The man is an idiot. It's like, he thinks that everything's like a real estate deal, that you just go in, hammer something out, have a handshake, and go on about your business. Like, this is world affairs. This isn't. And these people are way smarter than him. It's like, they are playing him like a fiddle. That's all of them. Putin, Xi, the Iranians, they're all manipulating Trump like a baby. He's like just waving the shiny keys at him, and he's going, ah! Anyway, so he agrees to the 10-point plan as a basis for negotiation. Now, I don't know if you know what the 10-point plan is that he has agreed to. First of all, Trump gave them a 15-point plan, which they promptly just tore up and threw in the fucking garbage can because they respect him. What's up, Dinah? And so thanks for tuning in. They tore up his plan. Then they sent him this 10-point plan, which he says, okay. Because he's a master negotiator. What's up, Maxie? Thanks for tuning in. Here's Iran's 10-point peace plan. Now, of course, it's a truncated version. I believe that the original version was in Farsi, which they couldn't even read. It's like, not a lot of smart people in the Trump administration. Anyway, Iran's 10-point peace plan is, number one, guarantee that Iran will not be attacked again. Number two, permanent end to the war, not just a ceasefire. Number three, end to Israeli strikes in Lebanon. 4, lifting of all U.S. sanctions on Iran. 5, end to all regional fighting against Iranian allies. 6, Iran would reopen the Strait of Hormuz. 7, Iran would impose a $2 million fee per ship transiting Hormuz. 8, Iran would split these fees with Oman. 9, Iran would establish rules for safe passage through Hormuz. Number 10, Iran would use Hormuz fees for reconstruction instead of reparations. Not one word about getting rid of their nuclear program, right? Not one word about not enriching uranium. Not one word about rebuilding back the military, the Navy that was destroyed. Not one word about giving up their missile capabilities. So what did Trump get out of this? And now people are saying, oh, there's no way they're going to accept this. To me, it doesn't sound that unreasonable. It's like, don't attack us. Stop bombing the shit out of Lebanon. We'll open you straight now. The $2 million, this is where it gets interesting. The $2 million fee, it was free. Trump has created this situation now where Iran is going to assert their control over the Strait of Hormuz and tax ships that come through there, which means they'll make $1 million a day. They say about 150 ships go through there a day when it's at full capacity. So that's $150 million a day. Almost $1 billion a week that Iran will get. Plus the ability to shut it down anytime they fucking want. Trump got played like a bitch. Like he's fundamentally over his head and dealing with people who are way smarter than him. Like I said, you don't think the Iranians been planning for this for years and years and years and years? What's up, Neek? Thank you for tuning in. I mean, anybody that thinks that they didn't have a plan is a fucking idiot. You're talking about a country that's 1,000 years old. They've been through hundreds of wars. They fought Saddam Hussein before we did. You think for 1 second that they didn't have a plan? Trump didn't have a plan. He thought he was going to go in there with the military might and drop a bunch of bombs on them and that they would just capitulate and give up. And Netanyahu convinced him that the the regime would fall immediately. Which, like I said, they have to have contingency plans. Obviously, they had put a system in place that it didn't matter if you killed off the leaders because new leaders would just step into the void. There hasn't been a power vacuum one time. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard is controlling the country just like they controlled the country before Trump did this. So the question is, what did Trump get out of this? Daywalker says, am I a conspiracy theorist? It matters, I don't know. I used to laugh at those people, but some of these conspiracies are ridiculous, you gotta admit. But there are conspiracies. See, that was always my problem with conspiracy theorists. That they made everything into a conspiracy. And that cheapens the real conspiracies. You know, like Pizzagate. Pizzagate's not it wasn't real. It's a made up story. It's bullshit. But so many people were invested in that. You know, a guy was invested so hard that he took a fucking gun and drove across 3 states or whatever to go there and say, or the Sandy Hook shit that Alex Jones was pushing. Like, it's all so much. There's so much ridiculous bullshit that, like I said, the real conspiracies fly under the radar. The real conspiracies are Jeffrey Epstein shit and shit like that. It's real. You know, Trump and all this shit. Everything he does. Basically. Daywalker says maybe it's not about Trump, maybe it's about where the money goes. Well, a lot of people are making a lot of money, that's for sure. That is for sure. And if you the people that used to say, Kamiga says not true, once you poke it, everything becomes a conspiracy, there is no... Right, because anything that is more than one person is a fucking conspiracy, right? That's like everything that happens. You going to lunch with your friend is a conspiracy. That's like, especially if you invite a third person. It's like, but don't you get what I'm saying though? Is the bullshit ones. Like we didn't land on the moon, you know, or I said Pizzagate, shit like that. QAnon, you know, this is all like ridiculous bullshit, made up bullshit. It's not true. You know, like when Alex Jones said, "Oh, the government's buying Walmarts in Texas, they're gonna lock everybody up." You know, like remember that? Like it's not true. And it distracts you from the real conspiracies, like you're saying. Like somebody's making a lot of money on the prediction market of all this stuff that's going on. I don't know if you see this, you know. Somebody's cashing in. They're betting on what Trump's going to do because they know. Hey, Laura, what's up? Hope you're having a good time with your friend. Ken says it's always about money. That is true. That is true. Or religion. Money and religion cause more wars than anything. When you add the two things together, like you got going on with the Trumps, the money and the religion all together. Now you got a real fucking fascist movement on your hands, don't you? You know, I always tell you it's a worldwide movement. And you know how you know it's a worldwide movement? Is J.D. Vance is over there in Hungary campaigning for Viktor Orban. Why? Because Vladimir Putin told him to do it. You know that's true. Like I said, MAGA's just an arm of the KGB. People refuse to see it. That's what I mean, Kamagus. Like, that's a real conspiracy. That Vladimir Putin is pulling the strings on these people. It's true. But people don't want to believe it because they say, oh, there's no way that's a wacky conspiracy theory. You know, it's just the same as Pizzagate, but it's not. That's why I said all the fake conspiracies are a subterfuge to hide the real ones from you. The difference between Trump and any other politicians is that all the politicians done everything behind the curtain. Trump just does everything right out in the open. He doesn't care. Just today, they said he's getting $100-something million worth of free steel from this company in Luxembourg. And in return, he's taking all the tariffs off of this company. It's a quid pro quo. It's a bribe. Right out in the open. They're like that jet that Qatar gave him. You know what happened to that? It just disappeared, didn't it? It's like the $500 million that he got from the Venezuelan oil money that just disappeared. He's put in a bank account in Qatar. Where's that going? No one's talking about that anymore. It's gone. Like South Park, and it's gone. It's like if somebody could tell me, like I said, if somebody who's watching right now, who's a MAGA person or a Trump fan, can explain to me how we won this thing that he keeps saying we've won. We won. It's like, what? Somebody didn't tell the Iranians that because they don't seem to act like, you know, we've won anything. And as a matter of fact, they're in a stronger position than they were before this happened. You know, now they're going to make $1 billion a week off the Strait of Hormuz that was free. And the ability to shut it down whenever they want and choke off the world economy whenever they want. They could bring you to your knees without even firing a shot. That's like... And that had never happened before. Iran always was there at the Strait of Hormuz. Ken says he's going to bankrupt the country just like his fucking businesses. Yes, like the casino that he ran. Man bankrupted the casino. Let's say. It's a fact. It sounds like something you'd make up. Yeah, like it's some kind of saying that you would say. You know, like, oh, this man's so dumb he bankrupted the casino, but he fucking did it. I bet the whole time, I bet when they were tearing it down, he was standing there going, and this casino is the best casino you've ever seen in your life. Never had a nicer casino. He's falling down behind it. It's like, he's literally that crazy. If you don't believe me, the President of the United States, it's hard to believe sometimes because he's so fucking crazy and does so many crazy fucking things that now these crazy things he does, they don't even fucking make a story anymore. They just fly right under the radar. This is also the longest True Social post I think I've ever seen him write. He must have been extra pissed off today. And for the people that have been bitching about the sound, I bought a new microphone today, but it's coming in the mail, so I have to wait for it to come. But progress is being made. Hopefully, it's better than this one. Anyway, I think this is the longest True Social post I've ever seen him write, but he's fucking insane. Listen, It says, I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the number one state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon. Because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it. And everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes. And they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Sounds like himself. Now they think that they can get some clicks because they have their third-rate podcast, but nobody's talking about them. And their views are the opposite of MAGA, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. 1.4% he won by landslide. 1.4%. This is actually the lowest margin of victory of any president in the history of the United States. Anyway. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump. Not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox. He's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous Only Rosie O'Donnell question. Or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man, when she is not, and will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is a far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attacks on the families of the Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. It sounds just like him. Everything's a hoax. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now fake news CNN, the failing New York Times, and all the other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. They're not MAGA. They're losers. Just trying to latch on to MAGA. As president, I can get them on my side anytime I want to. But when they call, I don't even return their calls because I'm too busy on the world and country affairs. And after a few times, they go nasty, just like Marjorie Trader Brown. But I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing right for our country. MAGA is about winning and strength and not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again. And these people have no idea how to do that. But I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. President Donald J. Trump. That's the President of the United States. And nobody even cares. No one's like, he might be fucking nuts. It's like, maybe he shouldn't have the nuclear football or whatever it's called. The man is insane. Right, Ken? And half the things he said, he does. Right? He says everything's a hoax. He says... He calls people losers and shit all the time. Hey, what's up, Proudly Indian? A lot of people from India watching this show lately. I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio, United States. This is funny. J.D. Vance went to Hungary to campaign for Viktor Orban, and the polls showed that support for Orban's party went down almost 5%. Because even they know that J.D. Vance is a piece of shit. The Pixar Ninja says Black Lives Matter. They do. They do. Most definitely. Now I'm going to say what everybody says But when they say it, they mean it in a derogatory fashion. But it's like all lives matter, right? We're all human beings, and that's true. And I'm not saying that in a like condescending way or anything like that. Black lives matter for sure. And the gig why I don't like Black Lives Matter is because white people didn't have to look at themselves, and we don't like to do that. Look at this whole country. The whole thing's a gaslight. White people came over here, right? Annihilated the people who lived here, right? And then we're too lazy to fucking work, so they went and kidnapped other people and brought them over here to work. But we whitewash that all away, don't we? We act like it didn't even happen, and if it did happen, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like it's just the way it is. You hear all the arguments. Civilization, slavery's always existed throughout civilizations, and blah 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 blah. It's like, yeah, that's true, but it don't make it right in any way. And the Indians, I don't know if you've ever gone to an Indian reservation. Those people are still fucked. We don't talk about that either, do we? Pixel Ninjas is I'm definitely getting shot. Well, that's good. T.S. says Jesus ain't real. I never said he was. I believe Jesus was a guy who existed, but I don't believe he was the Son of God or the Messiah or any of that kind of shit. And he definitely was a persuasive individual who his story lived on, like in ways that other people's hasn't. But he could have not been a real person as well. He could just be a made up, metaphoric, just like any fable or mythology. But I kind of believe that he was a real person. But he was probably he's like a mega church preacher. It's like a magic act. He's like those people in the early 1900s who the mediums, that pretended like they were talking to your dead relatives or shit, like those kind of people. They would do like rudimentary fucking illusionist shit and like make people think that shit was going on. Con artists. Yes. I agree. It says, T.S. Gamer Royalty says all religions are based upon false beliefs. I believe that to be true, too. You ever notice that, hey, look, another Indian person. Thanks for tuning in, Avik. You ever notice this? Throughout history of man, there's been all different kinds of religions, right? Like the Romans had their mythologies, the Greeks had their mythologies. But at some point, they all realized that it was bullshit, right? And they abandoned it. They said, there ain't 15 gods, Poseidon and Zeus and all that shit. There isn't a Mount Olympus and all that. And they abandoned those ideas. Only to just grab onto another one. Because it's something in the psychology of human beings that I guess that they need that. Now, I don't need that, and obviously you don't either. There are some of us who have evolved beyond that. It's like I don't need that. I don't need a fear of eternal punishment or the promise of everlasting life. To make me a good person. I'm a humanist. I'm not a cruel sadist piece of shit, and I happen to be honest, all the things that they say, to be a good person. I would strive to be the best human being I can be, because to me, that's the height of human being evolution, where you don't act like a fucking animal, like we are now, killing each other, bombing each other, murdering each other all over the fucking planet for whatever reason. Animals. I said, most of the human race is true, are just hairless monkeys. They're not much better or smarter than, the chimpanzee or the gorilla can't talk to you, but he'd probably be like, man, this motherfucker's stupid, because we have not evolved. Matter of fact, if you ask me, we're devolving. All this technology and all this internet and all this stuff hasn't helped humanity. I mean, it has helped in some ways. There are some good things about it, like I'm talking to you and you're in India or wherever you're from. Right now, that's a miracle. Like gamer royalty. I don't know where you are, but that's good. It's able to connect. But I don't believe that the ability to use it for connection, we haven't used it for that, have we? The internet's made people more isolated than they've ever been before. And all these isolated people now, they can find each other and create groups of isolated, angry, disenchanted people. Bobby says we're not stupid like animals, but animals are smart like us. Some. But look at what we're doing to ourselves. We have all this. We have all this stuff. We can do so much things. And we're still just cruel, violent, impulsive. It's like we've not gone forward, and the bit we've gone forward, we get drugged back again. Gamer Royalty says, maybe morality isn't about reward or punishment at all. What if it's about reducing suffering and increasing well-being, regardless of God? Exactly. That's 100% true. See, if you were in America, they go, we are communists! Zindanier says, John 16:13, Jesus states, howbeit when he, the Spirit of truth, comes, he will guide you into all the truth, for he will not speak on his own. But whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak. Who is Jesus talking about? I believe yourself. The secret of life, of a happy life, is to get in touch with yourself. And to shed all these shackles and all these preconceived ideas of what other people want you to be. You have to discover who you are and pursue that. The problem with most people's lives is that they're doing things that other people wanted them to do. Their parents or my parents were always in the military, so I'm going to join the military. All my parents are doctors, so I got to be a doctor. Now you may or may not, be a doctor in your soul or whatever. But a lot of people do that. They go, my dad worked at this factory, so I'm going to work at this factory. And they just follow the path that's been laid out before them by other people. The secret to real happiness is gamer. No, listen, gamer royalty. I wasn't saying that to insult you. I was saying that's the coin bullshit phrase that in America that people say when you say, hey, maybe we should take care of people more. They say you're a communist. You just want to help a bunch of freeloaders. And that's what they say. You go, hey man, we pay a lot of taxes. How come we don't get nothing, for these taxes that we pay? Why is the bridge that I drive across every day over here falling apart? And I feel danger when I'm crossing it. When we're supposed to be the richest country in the world, why is that? But yet we have $1 billion a day to bomb the shit out of Iran. We go, hey, how come people can't afford to go to the doctor in this country? Maybe we should have health care. They say, well, you're a communist. That's how they shut down any real discussion about it. Because if you notice, America doesn't talk about solving any problems. To them, the system is perfect just the way it is. It would only be more perfect if they deregulated even more and these corporations could buy every fucking thing. It's a beast. It's a monster. It's got to be fed all the time. And these corporations just get bigger and bigger and bigger. bigger. It only took 30 minutes. But no, sir. Not a Jew. Sorry to disappoint you. But as you can tell, I get asked that so much, and my girlfriend made this sign. Gamer says, you know, U.S. shouldn't have involved in this war at all. It wasn't their war at all. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And like I was saying, but maybe you weren't watching because you came on later. It's Jonas. My girlfriend made that for me because so many people come on here to just say it like that. Gee, look, it's a Jew. Like I said, like, it wouldn't matter if I was or wasn't, but I'm not. But you were right, Gamer Royalty. And like I said, Iran is in a better position now than they were before this started. Now they have control of the strait. Now they're going to toll ships $2 million a day. And they have the ability to shut it down whenever they want. Trump fell into a trap because he's an idiot. See, Trump is obsessed with making himself look like to be the greatest leader of all time in the history of the fucking world. And he's very impulsive when he sees a chance. He's like, well, I can be the president who took down Iran. You know, it's like, but he doesn't know anything about it at all. He doesn't know the history of the situation. He doesn't know anything. And Netanyahu told him, yeah, all you do is bomb the meeting and kill all the head of the dude and give the Kurds some guns and they'll go in there and the regime will just collapse. And then they killed all those people and they gave the Kurds the guns, but the Kurds just ran off with the guns. That's true. They gave the Kurds a bunch of weapons and they just took off. Stole them. Then they went back to him and was like, hey man, you gonna do this invasion for us? They said, fuck no. Because, like I said, these people are dumb. The same as Netanyahu. Right? How do you take the most sympathized people? Right? The Jewish people went through the Holocaust, World War II. They were the most sympathized people on the earth. Everybody felt for the Jews at that time, right? I mean, except for fucking asshole anti-Semites that don't like Jews no matter what. But I'm saying regular people all around the world were like, well, that's fucking terrible. Yes, give them their own country, you know, let them, and that's what they did. And now Netanyahu has turned the average person. It's like Israel fucking sucks. It's like, how they turn themselves into the bad guys. Shadow Titan says, I will tell you something very true. I live with Arabs. They are the most bad people in the world. We don't have jobs because they're evil. To keep the jobs for their families, and we don't have money from them. Right? Well, that's just like anywhere like here. That's not... Wait, hold on. You mean all Arabs? Where do you live? Exactly, Gamer Royalty, but that's how they fucking keep you from fucking criticizing them. Is every time you say Israel's terrible, they say, he's an anti-Semite. And you're like, no. The Jewish people are cool for the most part. I want to know what Shadow Titan is saying. Like, where do you live? I mean, like, I don't understand that because I used to work with some Arabs in Florida. They were some of the nicest people I knew. I mean, they were nice to me. Guy's wife bring me food all the time. You know, like they were very nice people. Jordan. Well, yeah, but over there it's very hierarchy, you know, isn't it? Like, you know, the oil families, they got all the money, and they keep everybody down, I would imagine. But, okay, but you live in Jordan, but you're not an Arab yourself. What are you, may I ask? You're surrounded by Arabs. You hate them so much you want them all wiped off the planet. Jordan's not even like one of those countries like Iran or Iraq, or that people would think that people are mistreated there. I'm sure they are. I've never really looked into how the societies are set up, over there on for day to day life, but I would imagine it's just like here, where you got rich. That's what the Trumps represent, all the rich people, and they work for the rich people. That's what's so funny about MAGA, is that they've convinced the average jerk off down here that these billionaires care about them. And in fact, you better send him some money. That's the funniest thing. When Trump, every day you see how Trump's net worth is going up and up and up, right? It's like, Trump made $7 billion since he's been in office. And then you still get these emails like, I need money. He's asking you to send him money. Shadow Titan says you can't even work any job. What do you mean? You gotta explain that to me more. Like everybody's fucking picked and chosen to do every job. Like, it seems like you could find a job somewhere. How does the fucking economy even work? You can't get a job. I mean, I wish I knew more. That's it. I'm actually curious about this situation. And you didn't tell me what you are. You live in Jordan and you're not an Arab and you hate all the Arabs. So, Cynical Base, hey, what's up? Thanks for coming back. Shalom to you too. Although saying that would make even more people say I'm a Jew. He says he's not a Jew, but I haven't seen him say shalom. Shadow Titan says they make you study in the university and spend so much money, and in the end you don't get a job. What? Their colleges aren't free? I've always heard that in some of those Arab companies you get a stipend even. Like from all the oil money, they distribute it to the people somehow. They send their checks. In some, like I think they do that in Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure. Cynical Base says, I'm a greasy Guido mixed with Irish and French. Right? That's kind of like me, I think. I said my mom's family's Irish. The other part of me, I don't know. But I just know I'm not a fucking Jew, and everybody comes on here and is like, yeah, I'm fucking Jew. Okay, so you're Jordanian, but not from their families. But what do you mean when you say their families? That's why I don't get, it's like royal families, right? I think that they still have the fucking monarchies and shit, right? The ultimate caste system where, you're either got royal blood or you don't. See, Shadow Titan says most of Arab like that. Yeah. That's what's funny about Iran, because most people act like Iran didn't exist before 1979. If you talk to an American, they say, well, it was 1979. But people didn't know that before that, in the 40s and 50s, Iran was a moderate, pretty liberal democracy where they had elections and shit. What happened? The president wanted to nationalize the oil, and the Brits and the fucking United States were like, hell no! So they overthrew the government. Game of royalty? That's a good question. He says Iran probably never going to use nuke. It was just to protect themselves. Why U.S. can have nukes but other countries can't? Exactly. This is a double standard. Everything's a double standard. Just like, why can the U.S. or Israel bomb the fuck out of a bunch of civilians and kill a bunch of innocent children and women and whatever, but still pretend like they have some kind of moral high ground on the rest of the world? Yeah. Cynical Base says, nah, let's bring back Persia. Cynical Base says, Italian on my mom's side. Her maiden name was Coochie. Really? Her name is Coochie? Yeah, cynical base says Persians were kind of chill. Not right. I was going to say, nah. But see, that's how everybody was back then, right? It just went from which assholes were stronger this year, you know, because everybody was trying to move in and take over everybody's territory. Shadow Titan says there's big families controlling the Arab tradition, but they are not royals. They are very bad. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some of them are. But I said I've known lots of Arabs that were cool as fuck. I know some assholes too, but that's everybody. Every group of people got assholes in it. You know, sometimes the assholes are in charge, and that makes it even worse. You know, just like what's going on here right now. The only thing that's saving us is that we have term limits and shit. And that's what I've been talking to this guy in Hungary. He's a political analyst. I've met him on the Substack. We've been messaging a little bit. And Orban's been in power for 16 years, and he's running again. And you're like, dude, term limits are the only thing, the Constitution and the term limits are the only thing that's keeping us from Trump for the rest of his fucking life, you know. Cynical base says we call those people jihadists in America. What? Which people? That's what I mean. It's like you can't make a blanket statement that all Arabs are garbage, because they're not. There's plenty of good people. Well, like I said, most people just want to live their fucking lives. It's all these fanatics that are fucking everything up. You know, like that was one of my original points when I used to say on this show all the fucking time is it's hard to fight fanatics because they're fanatics. They get up in the morning and thinking about whatever they're fanatical about, what they're going to do today to make it happen. You know, and most people aren't like that. Most people just get up and want to chill or go to work and play with their kids or you know, whatever else they do in their lives. Cynical Base says the big Arab family is full of bad people, right? Like the Bin Ladens. Right? The Bin Laden was like one of like, I can't even remember how many, like 20-something brothers. That's like, they're all rich too. Imagine how much money the Bin Laden family has. They have 20-something brothers and they're all rich. He was rich enough to start his own army. That's pretty rich, you know. That's like... See, that's something. The guy was asking about conspiracies earlier. That's something that no one's ever really got to the bottom of. You know, don't you think it's odd that out of all those hijackers, 19 of them, you know, most of them were Saudi Arabians. Nobody ever went after Saudi Arabia. Nobody ever really asked them. Yes, the Bin Ladens are billionaires. Shadow Titan says, I'm trying very hard to lead the Arab countries, but I can't. Why can't you? He says, you can Google it, ask how much people don't have jobs in Jordan, and you will see. Well, no, I'm not saying I don't believe you. A lot of countries got fucked up systems, man, and if you're stuck... That's why I always say about all the nationalism and all the racism and all that. It's all stupid, right? Where you're at is just, it's luck. You're born where you was born, and you open your eyes, and there you are. And you got to deal with whatever's going around you in that spot. You don't got no choice in the matter. That's like, it's not like you can choose who your parents are, or, you know, or you could have been born in one of those families you're talking about. Well, you had the money, but you didn't, were you? You were born into the lower end of the caste. It's like the people in India. People watching India, it's like, I don't understand that, the caste system. Where either, you know, you're either born in the upper system where you have a future and you can do shit, or you're one of these people where it's just peasants, and you'll always be a peasant the rest of your life. There's no way to climb out of that. See, I could not see myself staying there. If I had to walk out of the country, that's what I would do. If I was a lower caste Indian person, because there's no fucking way I could just accept that there's no place for me to go. You know, it's just like, fuck that. I'll walk across the border to the next place. That's like, try to make my way. You know what I mean? Because it's like to live in a situation like that is just hopeless. You gotta have hope. And you're talking about 1 billion people almost. Half of them got no future or no hope for a future simply because of this system. But that's what I mean. Nobody chooses. You didn't choose to be born into the lower caste. Shadow Titan says, no, not like here. There's 10 million people here and 5 million don't have jobs. No, I can't believe that. 50% unemployment? That's crazy. How do you live? I'm curious. See, this is why I like doing this show, because I want to learn some shit. Like, I don't come on here and say I know everything about everything. I don't. I'm an intellectually curious person. I'd like to know. I said, how do you get by? Has you got unemployment insurance? The government send you a check? And why is it that nobody has jobs? How does shit get done? Are they one of those countries that pipes in like slave labor from other countries, like they did when they had one of those countries, I can't remember who it was, had the World Cup, and they just basically kidnapped a bunch of people from Africa and places like that, and brought them there. And that made them build all these stadiums that they were going to have a World Cup in. They didn't pay them, you know. It's crazy because these are oil-rich countries. You'd think they'd have the money to pay some people. But no, they're greedy as fuck. Plus, like, it's just like we were saying, it's like you were saying, it's this royal situation. So, you know, royalties are used to just treating people like garbage. You know, I still can't believe it's again, this is another example of what I was talking about how we have not evolved. It's 2026, right? And you're talking about monarchies and kings and, you know, fuck all that. The idea that you're you're in charge because you were born into that family. Well, they've always been in charge. That's just the way it is. Like, yeah, but, you know, most of these countries have gotten rid of that. France drug him out in the street, cut his head off. England killed a couple kings. You know, and it's like, I mean, they kept his position, but just ceremonially. Shadow Titan says, I just told you they're evil. They look at you wishing you don't have health if they see you can walk. Wow. That's awful that you would feel like that. But I said, I guess that's what I mean about a system that where you just feel hopeless every day. I imagine that would drain your spirit. Why can't you leave? You didn't say that either. I said, just get the fuck out of there. That's like, where are you going to go? Who cares? That's like, son, anyone's better than this. If you don't have any hope, I live in America, and I never thought I would say this, but I think about this a lot. Like, I don't like what this country's becoming. I don't like the path we're headed down. I don't like any of this. I don't like half the people that fucking live here. Because they support this shit. It's unbelievable. They're fascists. You know, I don't live with a bunch of fascists. You know, so it's just like, but again, what do you fucking hope? I don't think I could take it. I think I would figure out a way to leave. Shadow Titan says, if you don't have money to live normal, how will you leave? What? I don't know. I have to figure that out somehow. But that would probably entail doing some dangerous things that over there, like if you're over here and you get desperate and you're like, well, maybe I'll sell drugs or something to make some money real fast so I can do something I want to do, like get out, you know, or whatever. Like, yeah, I'm taking a chance that I'll get caught, but if I get caught, they'll just send me to jail or something. Over there, they'll probably kill you. They still do shit like that too over there. Public executions and shit like that. You know. And that's what I mean. Is like, again, back to my original point. We have not evolved very much. It's like here, the system's fucked, right? That's why I was trying to tell my friend. Remember this guy, Luigi Mangione, right? Do you remember him? He shot the United Healthcare CEO, right? Killed him. And he said, because of what the insurance industry does to people in this country, right? Of course he's arrested. They got all this evidence on him, you know, they got pictures of him, they got video of him shooting the guy, they got, you know, they got the gun, you know, he's pretty much dead to rights, right? But there's going to be a trial anyway. And I was telling my friend today, if I was Luigi Mangione, what I would do is, he's not going to get out. If he tries to put up a normal defense, right, and his lawyers say, well, it wasn't him and all this other shit, but he's going to go to jail for life. He's probably going to go to jail for life anyway. So what I would do is do what Hitler did during his trial. Is I would say, yes, I did this, but this is why I did it. And I would put the whole insurance industry on trial. And I would say, show how many people they deny coverage, how many people die because they fucking don't take care of them, how many claims they denied when they knew that it was fucking a legitimate claim because they didn't want to pay out the fucking money. You know, and all you need is one sympathetic juror to say they won't convict him. And like I said, you're getting your message out. Right? That's why he did it, right? To make a message. If he just has a quiet trial, they send him off to jail, then there was no point to doing it at all, was there? So if he's really going to sacrifice himself, he should sacrifice himself fully. And say in the trial that, yes, I did it, but this is why I did it. And explain to people just how fucking horrible the American insurance system really is. And then something maybe good could come out of the situation. Otherwise, they're just going to ship him off to prison quietly. And you might see him on 60 Minutes or something one day. But that's about it. He should make a big deal out of it. He's put the system on trial. I forgot to tell you about this. See, that's the other thing, is the system is cracking. Today there was a fire. A California distribution warehouse for the consumer products giant Kimberly-Clark burned to the ground on Tuesday, and an employee has been taken into custody under suspicion of arson. The 6-alarm fire required 175 firefighters to contain. A video is circulating online, purportedly taken by the aggrieved worker, which shows them setting fire to several pallets of toilet paper while calmly repeating, all you had to do was pay us enough to live. All you had to do was pay us enough to live. I believe that's going to start happening more and more in this country. It's like Daniele was saying when I don't know, a month ago or something when he was on here, was, you know, people are going to have to figure out a way to take care of people better than we do in this country, or shit's going to happen and they can't build walls high enough to keep all these people out, because what they're doing is starving off the population. And that you might be able to get away with that in other countries. But Americans are used to, hey now, what's up, Z? Americans are used to living, or at least having enough of a life that they can fool themselves into thinking that they're living. If you choke off Americans, they're going to start doing some shit eventually. You know, we're going to become like the French, like I've always been hoping. Get some balls. Get the fuck up. Do something. Stop letting these fucking billionaires just walk on you like a piece of fucking trash. You know, because that's what they're doing. We have enough money in this country. We can take care of everybody if we wanted to. It's a crime how many people are homeless in this country. And most of them, if you go and stand by them for a few minutes, you'll realize that this person couldn't take care of themselves if they fucking wanted to. Most of them are insane. They're crazy. But we don't. We just leave them out there to starve. It's inhuman. This whole system is inhuman. It has no soul. We've lost our humanity in this country. And the right wing exists by driving this and pushing your button and making you think, think that everybody's your fucking enemy. The leftists and the communists and the and the trans and the gays and the non-Christian heathens. They're all your enemies. Meanwhile, we're not doing anything to solve any of these problems. Yes, see, I lived there for 6 years. It is terrible. But like I said, if you get around any of these people, you realize they're crazy. A lot of them. They're mentally ill. But we don't have any place. Like I said, they're like, oh, if you just get a job, he can take care of him, get an apartment and whatever. It's like, dude, he's crazy. He's talking to himself, literally. And you're like, you think this person can have a job? Can hold down a regular life? Like, no. These people need help. They need guidance. They need someone to take care of them. They need, and that costs money, and nobody wants to put up that kind of money. Meanwhile, like I said, we can spend $1 billion a day bombing the shit out of some country 6,000 miles away. It's disgusting, if you ask me. Like I said. There has to be a place for these people, but like I said, nobody's even talking about this. We don't solve problems in this country. Little Thumb, he's back again. It's still not a Jew, but I appreciate your attraction to me. Every time you come out here, you hit on me. It's flattering. I'm old. I don't get that much anymore. Although I do have a wonderful girlfriend. I have the best girlfriend. I can't tell you how happy I am about that situation. Anyway, yes, it's my belief that we've lost our humanity. We've lost touch with what it means to be a human being. And this thirst for whatever, materialism or whatever it is, And they just keep knocking down the guardrails so these corporations can just absorb more and more shit. There's less and less people in charge of your lives. And you have less and less avenues to get out of the situation that you're in. And then nepotism and all that shit, And God forbid you're an actor nowadays. Right? Because all the acting jobs goes to the sons of musicians or actors. You hardly hear any of these stories anymore about these guys that came out of nowhere, And if they did, they're from rich families who were already rich. So, he was able to just concentrate on being an actor. You don't hear guys like, he's waiting tables in the daytime, and then he got his big break. He almost got his big break, but Dave Coulier's son stepped in and took the role. Shadow Titan says, but the person here who's 30 and even 40 years old doesn't have a house or simple car, can't get married. Can you believe that? He just keeps looking for a job. Yeah, no, I can't. Because like I said, I would have got the fuck out a long time ago. And I'm not trying to shit on you. I'm just saying, if I lived in a place that was that hopeless, I would get out somehow. If I had to walk out. Because I'm just not built that way. I did that here. I left my house when I was 17. And I said, fuck y'all. I'm coming back. I went through a period where I was homeless and shit. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. That's why I always say is like, if you've ever really hit rock bottom and you survive through it, then there's really nothing that can scare you anymore. You know, like they can take everything away from you. I've been there before, so you know that's why when I see homeless people, I have a special affinity for them because you don't know their stories. But now some people who are homeless, I'm sure, are there for their own choices. You know, they're alcoholics and drug addicts or whatever else. You know, and you can take that back to bad choices. You know, whatever. But the people who are walking around in circles and talking to themselves and shit. See, says Bruce Oy 28, hard paper round. Right? I see it. I could tell what you were trying to say. There was a time when I would have said, oh, I wish I was 28, but I don't. I'm 54 years old and I'm glad. This world is only going to get worse. Z says, why don't homeless people just go home? Right. But some of them are there for not their own choices, but for circumstances beyond their control. You know. Or maybe they were in a situation where they lived was so horrible that to be homeless would be better. I've also seen stories of people who just got sick of society itself and just checked out. We're like, you know, it's a joke because it is. You know, I only participated in it just enough to get by. Because it is a joke. It's all a fucking joke. It's all a bunch of hypocritical bullshit. And I said, most people are shit, bag, fucking assholes, and you don't want to deal with them, but you have to. You know. And most of the time you're doing something you don't really want to do. You know, you're stuck in circumstances, a job you fucking hate or whatever. You know, like this guy can't find a job. He'd like to have that job that you hate. It's all about perspective. It's like, you know, you think you got it bad? Read this guy's story. It's pretty bad. You know, like, so he's got it worse than you probably. So don't feel so sorry for yourself. But again, Shadow Titan, if I were going to give you advice, I would say, get the fuck out. That would be my advice. Because wherever you go can't be worse than what you're in. And to just stay in the same static spot with no hope to do anything, to me, is you might as well be dead. It's like people who don't live their lives, you know. Some people are still alive, but they don't live. You're like, shit, you might as well be dead. All you can do is sit there and stare at the TV 24 hours a fucking day. You know, like, get up, do something. As long as you're alive, you can draw a breath, you can do something. You know, you always still have a little bit of control over your own destiny or whatever you're going to do. Let me get out of here. Been here for an hour. Again, if you're new to this show, you stumbled on it today, please like the channel, subscribe to the show. I'm here every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States. You want to send me a private message, it's Bruce Leonard Leans Left at Outlook.com. You can send me an email. You can tell me you think I'm great. You can tell me I suck. You know, I don't care. But you could just tell me I suck right here, so why would you even bother? If you like the show, please share it with your friends. To post it on your social media. Take a clip and put it on the TikTok. You know, I have clips on the YouTube channel, on the shorts. I clip some and I post to try to promote the show. And I wouldn't be doing this show still if people didn't watch. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll be back on Saturday at 6 p.m. If you're in the Middle East, please take care of yourself. Be safe. Keep an eye on the sky and try to hide out if you see fucking missiles or drones or bombs. And I'm sorry for all this that's happened. Again, I'll be back Saturday at 6 p.m. Please like the channel, subscribe. Thank you so much. Okay, see, I appreciate it. And seriously, take care of yourselves. I'll see you Saturday. Thank you.